After all these years, we never talked about it. Why I brought you back.
Number one, it is Destiny 2's new DLC, going by the name The Final Shape, supposedly bringing new dungeons and more weapons, a few new paths, on top of a new adventure that will decide the future of the galaxy itself. Now, if you're keen to Destiny's additions, you probably know Lightfall brought some gameplay improvements, and so will The Final Shape, with refined mechanics. Check it out, the DLC releases on February 27 this year.
It was just a feeling. But I know now. After all we've seen, all we've lost, this fight might be our last. So I'm asking you one last time to rise.
Because we want to make sure the factions feel correct, all the races belong to where they're supposed to be, like all the realms have very specific.
A God of War Ragnarok DLC expansion is apparently in the works, but it's probably gonna be a whole year until we can have hands on it. The word was leaked by the Twitch live streamer Snitch, says it's about 60 to 70% done, and Santa Monica Studios is planning to reveal it by the end of the year. That's all we know. God of War Ragnarok is still one of the best action-adventure games released in the past couple of years.
To mountain springs, and took a lot of inspiration from hot springs, from the minerals that you find, a lot of colorful minerals, a lot of resources. So the dwarves being the races that they are, we knew we wanted to play on that as well. So you see their influence on Svartalfheim on every corner.
It's a realm where you're going.
There is this one thing I must do before I can recover the Ember. Leon and that young woman, they're both infected.
Okay. But this is your last chance.
Rated a 10 out of 10. Overwhelmingly positive scores. Again, at number 3, it is Resident Evil 4's Separate Ways. Separate Ways, the missing link, is the main story that lets you see the other side of the story from the eyes of Ada. You can get this edition for $10. Not only it offers a new perspective, a new narrative, you learn more about Wesker, but there's a whole different gameplay mechanic with Ada. Just play it if you have the base game already.
You two are infected. You must already feel the effects, eh?
I need to put that thing down.
There are things I must set right.
Why is this so important to you?
Oh, Ada. What to do with you?
Luis, the goodbye's gonna have to wait.
At number 4, it is Atomic Heart's hotly anticipated DLC, not the one that just came out with the new enemies and new time manipulation ability, but like a 40-second trailer that shows ducks. The only description it has, it says, Limbo is a strange world with inverted logic. Just look.
Fuck. Oh, my head. Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Dead Island 2 has been out for a few months, and despite its competitors, it's been getting quite a bit of attention too. I believe it's because of its diverse weapon crafting and the varied customization. Anyway, these folks are bringing some more post-game content, basically a bunch of new skins and new events where you can collect these skins. The DLC comes out early next year, and this is what it's all about.
Come on, big boy. Let's fucking do it. Sam, if we're immune, we need to tell the authorities.
I hear ya. I'm part of the CDC team in LA.
You don't know shit. Out there, you gotta be a mechanic, medic. Jackie fucking Chan rode into war. I've seen all his movies.
Nope! Climb it on the ride!
There's millions of those things out there, just waiting to sink their teeth into us.
You're screwed, man.
I think the survival of the human race may depend on the blood in my veins.
Yeah, man, no shit.
Take flight, find your wings and spread them wide.
Earlier this year, Final Fantasy XIV's last patch was released, and from what we've seen in the showcasing, there's a few new races that might be added to the game. Furries. Anyway, that's not what we're here for. The game is having a packed DLC in the making going by Dawn Trail. It's a major expansion that promises new gameplay features, more content, some balances, and most importantly, the beginning of a new story arc.
Might you have a moment to speak further?
At last, we are come to the land you call the New World. My home. Put out.
No one would miss. Dead. Discarded. Their throats torn open.
Now, as if Diablo didn't take an eternity to come out itself, Blizzard is having not one but two DLCs in development coming out at unspecified dates. One supposedly releasing late 2024, the other one a couple of years later, that is early 2026 at its earliest. Now, as for the content it's supposed to offer, we just suspect it'll have a new character class maybe, and the western areas of the game map are to be discovered more. That's all we know.
It changed them. Killed them. Brought them back. Hungry. I have fought this plague a long time. We need something different. A survivor. With all of their strengths and none of our weaknesses. Someone unexpected. And they'll never see you coming.
A few days ago, we finally had hands on High on Life's DLC High on Knife, which if you've been craving some good old comedy like the base game, I just gotta say, well, Justin's absence in the DLC was pretty loud to ignore. But still, there's a bunch of new weapons to try, the story is not that bad, and you get about 2 hours tops for $15. So unless you're supporting these developers or really are a big fan, you can just watch it on YouTube, but I don't know.
There's a job. Coordinates provided. You know what to do.
Get your ammo, assault rifles, tactical gear.
And thinking of buying some iron.
Moving on, it's probably the biggest and longest awaited DLC of 2023, Cyberpunk 2077's Phantom Liberty. This thing hit the market a couple weeks ago and is the first and the only expansion of the game that went on and introduced an even better ending to the franchise, a couple of more endings. Now, worse has it, CD Projekt is even since focusing on bringing the new Witcher game out, in which case you missed out on will be a totally new story and the start of a new trilogy. So moving on.
Job done.
Starbreeze and Deep Silver just confirmed the name of the DLC on the way for Payday 3 and said it's coming out by the end of the year. Syntax, I guess, error here will bring a slew of new characters, more enemies and more weapons to just destroy them with. And most importantly, utilizing Unreal Engine 5, if that even makes sense. And oh, Deep Silver is actually taking care of all the bugs that was reported by the beta testers last month, so keep it in mind. About a week ago, Team Ninja also released its second DLC for Wulong Fallen Dynasty called Conqueror of Jiangdong. Well, I haven't had the chance to play this one myself yet, even the base game, but I've gathered it follows the story of General Sun Ci's struggle after the death of his father. The addition here then includes a new mode, a bunch of new stages, and a difficulty option too. Check it out.
真の戦というものを教えてやる。少しは立場をおわきまえくだされ。蹴りはまだついてねえだ。小覇王が覇王になっては炎術様も困るのです。
I can already feel it. The rage is taking over.
Humble Games went on and revealed a mini campaign DLC expansion for their game Proteus, going by the name The Elder Veil. Which is new to, you see, Proteus, just to have a better understanding, is a beast amongst the new action FPS games coming out recently. I mean, it's rated a 10 out of 10 on most websites, so keep that in mind. The character now can use a grappling hook, apparently, and it's thrown into a much more fantasy aesthetic, almost like Bayonetta world. The DLC comes out to all consoles sometime next year.
And so, our journey continues.
There she is! Don't let her get away! After her!
Tales of Arise has a DLC to boot too, coming out November 9, going by the name Beyond the Dawn. It's a new story that takes place a year after the events of Tales of Arise itself and follows a bunch of new characters and a new campaign. I mean, there is one particular girl that you're supposed to follow that comes with a group, but that is it. This actually one of the surprise announcement, as the game's director said before, there will be no more DLCs, but apparently it's happening. Check it out. It's even coming to the Nintendo Switch.
Ending, but my nerves are calm.
How could the hero of Dana defend this abomination? I don't get it. Whose side are you on anyway?
All differences must be erased. Once there are no differences, there will be...
Old World Furrows of the Nile DLC just came out. I mean, it did a few days ago, and this time it takes you to ancient Egypt. Old World, if you're new to here, is a 4-way strategy game and has been around for quite a while. The new edition introduces a new narrative campaign with a bigger sandbox and more events, missions, on top of a few new in-game mechanics. Check it out. And last but not least, it's one of my favorite pixel art RPGs of all time, Esport. I had no clue, but this has a DLC on the way too, coming out by the end of the year. It basically offers some farming sim game components this time, like socializing, farming, cooking, in addition to a bunch of new characters and a new story on top too. This one's coming to PC, Switch, and Xbox consoles as it was originally by the end of the year.